Sharon is sitting on a chair and speaking on the phone.
I'm just saying, if he'd come back directly after the funeral, it wouldn't have been so bad. No, I mean, people might have thought it was a misdiagnosis. Yeah, a misdiagnosis. A bad call, a mistake. I could have said he'd been in a coma or something. Not dead at all, saved by the bell. No, not that sort of bell. It's a thing. They had them in coffins, so if you woke up underground, buried, you'd have a way to get help. Help, help, let me out. Ding, ding, ding. No. Yeah, bells. That's where the expression comes from. Oh, never mind. But 3 days later, that was pushing it. It made for some pretty awkward conversations, I can tell you. Some of the neighbours still aren't speaking to me. Oh, I agree. Who needs people like that? But still, it's been difficult, you know. I mean, he was buried, for God's sake, underground. You just don't expect someone to come knocking on your door after that. Well, I'm sure it's a shock for you too, Pamela, but not half as bad as having your dead dad show up 3 days after you've committed him to the life everlasting. Our dad. I meant our dad. Sure, I know. How do you mean? He's just as he always was, really. Pretty perky for a corpse. Seems there's life in the old dog yet. Oh, give me a break. It's just an expression. Hang on a minute.
Sharon stands and goes to the door, where she looks and listens for a minute. Then she shuts the door and returns to the chair.
He does smell a bit funny. No, not off, just odd. I can't quite place it. Not funny exactly. Fishy, perhaps. No, not the cod sort. No, it isn't unpleasant. Not really. Oh, perhaps it's the lilies I put in the coffin. Yes, lilies do have a distinctive smell. No, not fishy, of course not fishy. I didn't mean that kind of fishy. I said, didn't I? Fishy, but not the cod sort. Well, of course I thought he was dead. I wouldn't have buried him, would I? The hospital said he was dead. The doctor said he was dead. He wasn't doing any of the things living people do, like breathing. No, I'm no expert, but dead as a doornail, I'd say. Well, if you had your doubts, you should have come to the funeral. Yes, I know, but it's only a 3-hour flight. Monday. He got back on Monday, 3 days after the funeral. Like I said, I remember Monday because it's my Pilates day. No, I didn't. Not after that. I know, I should have called you before, but I wasn't sure he was here to stay. You know how it is. I didn't want to hit you with the good news, then have to retract it, did I? What do you mean? Well, he didn't really say anything. There was a knock on the door and there he was. Well, of course I was surprised, Pamela. I mean, he was dead, wasn't he? I'm just saying, you can call it what you like. Passed over, passed away, past tense is all I know. No, I think I spoke first. I said, hello. And he said, hello. And I said, you're dead. And he said, I don't think so. Yeah, just like that. Kind of deadpan. No, that wasn't meant to be a joke. Then I ushered him in. I didn't want people staring. Yes, of course they could see him. I'm not imagining this. Who? I don't remember. People. Neighbours, I suppose. As real as you and me. You think I wouldn't have mentioned if he was a phantasm? Phantasm with a PH. You know, spook, spectre. ghost. Oh, heavens, I hope he didn't hear me. Oh, after that, let me think for a minute. He asked for a cup of tea. Well, you know me, ever solicitous. I told him he should sit down, put his feet up, let me wait on him hand and foot, just like I always do. No, I'm just saying. Well, yes, sure, it must be exhausting, all that dying. No, I didn't actually. I said, tea? Don't you want something stronger? Well, yes, exactly. And I needed it even if he didn't. Yeah, brandy. I got him a brandy and one for me. Oh, strictly medicinal. I watched him drink it. I thought, maybe if he wasn't as solid as he looked, I might see it go down, or perhaps it would just slip through him and make a puddle on the floor. Something else for me to clear up. No, drank it down and then picked up the paper as if nothing had happened. Luckily, I hadn't got round to cancelling it. I never bother with the tabloids myself. No explanation. Yes, well, you know what he's like. He's monosyllabic even when he's in a good mood. Monosyllabic, yeah. It means he doesn't say much. Honestly, Pamela, Mum should never have sent you to that posh school. Didn't they teach you anything? Well, yeah, St. Mark's was quite good enough for me, thank you. No, I didn't say he was in a bad mood, neither good nor bad, just his usual self. Something odd, though, he asked for another brandy. Well, you know, Dad, he's never been a drinker. Pretty poor time to start, I should say. Wearing? What do you mean? A suit. The one I buried him in. His best suit, the black one. I don't know. Not muddy exactly. Perhaps a little dusty. I don't think he dug himself out of there, that's what you mean. No, I didn't check his fingernails. What am I, OCD? Not ACDC, OCD. It stands for, oh, never mind. Listen, why don't you speak to him for yourself?
Sharon gets up to walk towards the door and opens it.
Dad? Pamela? Hang on a minute, I'll go fetch him. You sure? I know he'd like to speak to you. Well, I know you don't usually, but it's a sort of special occasion, isn't it? Well, no. I mean, it's more like Easter if you think about it. Okay. You know best.
Sharon shuts the door and goes back to the chair where she sits again.
There's something I have to tell you, Pamela. You won't like it. Yeah, well, sort of. It's about the will. He made a few changes. Nope, just yesterday. Oh, you don't need a solicitor. It's not like it's an entirely new will. He just crossed a few things out. Well, people, basically. Yes, of course there was a witness. Simon came over. You know Simon, that chap from 3 Doors Up. You've met him. Well, you never like any of my beaux. Beaux, not but, oh, never mind. Well, things have developed a bit since then. He's been a great help, actually. He studied law, you know. What do you mean, convenient? I'm sure he'd do the same for anyone. Why would you need a lawyer? So, well, that's just it. You don't. You aren't in the will. No, not anymore. It was Dad's decision and nothing to do with me. Oh, don't be silly. He doesn't have favourites. Fathers just don't, that's why. Oh, well, in that case, you should have come to the funeral. And anyway, you were always Mum's favourite. Oh, private school, dance classes, of course you were. She never said who should get the house. In any case, it's up to Dad now. I do think I have some rights to this place, Pamela. After all, I'm the one who moved in to look after him. I'm the one who's been taking care of him for the last 3 years, washing him and feeding him and all. Oh, calm down. It's not like there's a fortune going begging. Yes, well, the house and that. I know, but those accounts hardly make any interest these days. I don't know how much exactly. Well, what's it to you? Well, it's not now, is it? I'm just saying. Yes, to me. Yes. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, of course he signed it. But, well, his hands are a bit wobbly, and I know how finicky you are, so I'll tell you now. It might not look exactly like his old signature, but that's to be expected, isn't it? Oh, calm down, Pamela. Speaking to him won't do any good. He's got a perfect right to make changes. I'm just saying. Okay, sure, if you want to. Hang on a minute.
Sharon gets up and goes to the door and opens it again.
Dad! Dad! Pamela, I think he's just gone out because I heard the door go. Well, no, how should I know? Oh, if you like, later. Yes, of course.
The sound of a door banging.
What noise? Oh, no. That's just Simon. He's staying for a few days. On the sofa. I'm in my usual room, Dad's in his, and Simon's on the sofa. Oh, he moved in to keep me company after the funeral. Well, maybe he didn't want to sleep in a dead man's bed. Yes, but we thought he was at the time, didn't we? And think how embarrassing it would have been if Dad had come back and found someone else sleeping there. Well, of course I wasn't expecting him to come back. It's not the kind of thing you plan for. Resurrection. Oh, never mind. What do you mean you're coming over? When? But you didn't come to Dad's funeral. Why would you want to come now? I mean, honestly, he's looking awful peaky. Frail. Oh, there's no telling how long he'll allow for. I wouldn't want you to waste a journey. Yes, I know. It's only a 3-hour flight. Look, why don't you just talk to him on the phone? Maybe this evening after he's had his tea. Okay, no need to shout. You can come if you want. I'm not stopping you. But there's every chance you'll find him gone. Yes, I know I said there was life in the old dog, but I may have exaggerated. Yes, it's a new lease of life, all right, but it does look like a short-term contract. I'm just saying.
The end.